So let's answer the question, what does scripture teach us about traditions of men? So let's go to Colossians chapter 2. I'm going to read verses 1 through 8 real quick. For I wish you to know what a great struggle I have for you and those in Laodicea, and for as many as have not seen it, my face in the flesh, in order that their hearts might be encouraged, being knit together in love, and to all riches of the entire confirmation of understanding, to a true knowledge of the secret of Elohim and of the Father and of the Messiah, in whom are all hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. And this I say, so that no one deceives you with enticing words. For though I am absent in the flesh, yet I am with you in spirit, rejoicing to see your good order and the steadfastness of your belief in Messiah. Therefore, as you accepted Messiah Yeshua, the Master, walk in him, having been rooted and built up in him and established in the belief, as you were taught, overflowing in it with thanksgiving. See to it that no one makes a prey of you through philosophy and empty deceit, according to the tradition of men. There it is. According to the elementary matters of the world, and not according to Messiah. And so in verses 14 to 16 in the King James, we see blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to his cross. And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a show of them openly, triumphing over them in it. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of a holiday or holy day or the new moon or of the Sabbath day. So something that's a common theme when it comes to Christmas and other traditions of men is people will point to these verses and pull them out of context, try to justify observing traditions of men like Christmas, which are unscriptural. So let's read the rest of the context after verse 16 to 22. Let no one therefore judge you in eating or in drinking, or in respect of a festival, or a new moon, or Sabbaths, which are of a shadow what is to come. But the body of the Messiah, let no one deprive you of the prize, one who takes delight in false humility and worship of messengers, taking his stand on what he has not seen, puffed up by his fleshly mind, and not holding fast to the head, from whom all the body, nourished and knit together by joints and ligaments, grows with the growth of Elohim. If then you died with Messiah from the elementary matters of the world, why, as though living in the world, do you subject yourselves to regulations? Do not touch, do not taste, do not handle, which all are to perish with use according to the commands and teachings of men. So we see in the context in Colossians 2, Paul is speaking out against traditions and teachings of men. Have you ever seen anybody pull that out of context, Josh,
Yeah, I
and
used
try
to
to
pull that
justify
out of
doing Christmas
context.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, I used to see that and go, "See, you can't judge me." Like me and Amber would talk about Sabbath. My wife, she'd, I was like, "It says not to judge people by their Sabbaths, if you know, so I don't keep it, and so you can't judge me." Like that was sort of like that twist on it. Like that's what I thought it was about. I didn't realize he's talking to people who are in the middle of an environment where they are practicing all these traditions of men, and they're going to be judging you when you start keeping Sabbath. They're going to be judging you when you're not keeping the traditions of men. And he's saying, hey, don't let that be a problem. People are going to be judging you. And here we are now. People are constantly judging us and making false beliefs about the way we the way we live and the way we walk. Anytime you bring up commandments, they automatically, well, I'm not justified by the law. I never said I was. You assume that I'm thinking that I am, um, but that's definitely not what we've ever said. It's just, I think it's a big twisting, and I used to have that, so I can relate to people who twist that one to think that, see, I don't have to keep any of those Sabbath things or feast days or holy days because it says not to judge us. But yeah, it's context there is huge. Knowing who he's talking to and what they're dealing with. Very similar environment to where we are right now.
Context is important, especially with Paul's writings for sure. And George from GeoTruth had a great comment. Traditions of men can be burdensome, unlike the commandments of Yahweh. Totally agree. Great comment, brother. Y'all go sub to his channel too. He's awesome.
Yeah,
Super smart dude.
the humble genius.
So let me look at our next slide, and it shows why there's such a. How did that get on there? Okay, there's such a distaste for keeping the law, and so if you and I challenge everybody to go do this. Look up the word tradition in the New Testament. You will find it's G 3862 paradosis from G3860 transmission that is concretely a precept, specifically the Jewish traditionary law, ordinance or tradition. So that's why there's such a dislike or hatred of people that hold to the New Testament. And I used to be this way too in the past till I've opened my eyes to keeping the Torah. But the translators wrote from the Spirit the New Testament. So that's why people will look at Paul's writings and be like, see, he's saying this, we don't need to keep the Torah, but that's not really what's going on. You gotta know the cultural context, Paul's upbringing, and the context of everything he teaches. So have you ever looked that up, Josh? And noticed that before?
No, I
From that
haven't,
Strong's
but
number?
I think along the lines of what you're saying is a lot of people, especially like me, we associate keeping the law with the way the Pharisees were doing it and the problems that the Messiah is having with the people keeping those traditions of men and judging him falsely and trying to slander him and have him put to death. We associate law keeping with those people, and they weren't doing it, and it's called out that way. We just didn't see it, that they were following traditions of men with a lot of the things. They didn't understand the prophets and the law in its entirety and the love aspect and the Holy Spirit. They didn't understand that. They were essentially making the law an idol and judging everybody as if they were just the supreme righteous beings that were 100% justified by their law keeping abilities. And so I think when people hear that, they hear law, they hear Torah, they immediately put that on you, that you're becoming
Yep.
like those people. And again, I understand that because that's the same type of mindset or programming. It felt like programming. I was being programmed to see it that way. Um, it took a lot of seeds planted to help me start seeing things differently.
So you want to read the next one? We're gonna interestingly we keep having all these verses from Paul.
Yeah.
You want to read this
Go
one,
Paul.
brother?
Yeah, I'll read this one. For there are many unruly men, senseless talkers and deceivers, especially those of the circumcision, whose mouths have to be stopped, who upset entire households, teaching what they should not teach for the sake of filthy gain. One of them, a prophet of their own, said, Cretans are always liars, evil beasts, lazy gluttons. This witness is true, therefore rebuke them sharply in order for them to be sound in belief, not paying attention to Yehudite fables and commands of men who turn from the truth. And that was Titus chapter 1. The commandments of men.
And that's Jewish fables for anybody that's
Yeah,
reading.
Judite,
This is
Jewish.
the ISI scriptures, and it puts Yehudite instead of Jewish. So you're if you read the King James, it'll say Jewish. So
And that's a hard one too, because a lot of
I
people
mean,
come into Torah.
is
That's what they have.
Christmas a command of men that turn people from the truth?
It sounds like it. Yeah, I think it's hard though, because a lot of people that came to the Torah movement earlier on, that all you had for an example was the Jewish practices, the things that the Jewish people have done, and so
Yep.
you adapt to they would adapt to those, and then be like, that's not in the Bible. Like, why am I doing this? This sort of thing, like Hanukkah and
Yep.
similar things. So it just depends on where you are in your studies to the things that you don't even realize are the traditions of men. We just kind of go along with them. know that Yahweh is.
There's so many of them. All right, everybody ready at home? We're going to go to the book of Jeremiah. Everybody knew it was coming.
No.
Oh, sorry, not chapter 10. Sorry, gotcha.
Whew, close. That was good.
Everybody expect us to read Jeremiah 10, but we're not going to do it this time. We're actually going to go 6 chapters later to. We're going to look at Jeremiah 16, 12 through 19. Gotcha. Thought you were going to get chapter 10. How could you do a Christmas live stream, Josh and Matt, and not cover Jeremiah 10? We're just gonna skip that one. That one's been beaten like a dead horse. So let's read Jeremiah 16, 12 through 19. Get a little context to that chapter. And you have done more evil than your fathers. For look, each one walks according to the stubbornness of his own evil heart without listening to me. Now I have to ask, what goes on during Christmas? Does that fit that statement right there? People walk according to the stubbornness of his own evil heart. I would say yes. So I shall throw you out of this land into a land that you do not know, neither you nor your fathers. And there you shall serve other mighty ones, and day and night, where I show you no favor. Therefore, see the days are coming, declares Yahweh, when it is no longer said, Yahweh lives, who brought you up the children of Israel from the land of Egypt, but Yahweh lives, who brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, from all the lands where he had driven them. For I shall bring them back into their land I gave to their fathers. See, I am sending for many fishermen, declares Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after that I shall send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and every hill, out of the hills of the rocks. For my eyes are on all their ways. He sees everything, folks, everything we do.
Sees if you're naughty or
Nothing's in
nice.
secret. Yep. Ha ha. They have not been hidden from my face, nor has their crookedness been hidden from my eyes. And first I shall repay double for their crookedness and their sin, because they have defiled my land with the dead bodies of their disgusting matters, and have filled my inheritance with their abominations. Oh, Yahweh, my strength and my stronghold and my refuge. In the day of distress, the Gentiles shall come to you from the ends of the earth and say, our fathers have inherited only falsehood, futility, and there is no value in them. With that last statement, can we apply that to Christmas and traditions of men that involve Christmas? What say you, Josh?
Yeah, I think so. And I for some reason, that's fascinating how it says, I am sending many fishermen, and that's the people that, when the Messiah was here, he went after was the fishermen, soon I'll make you fishers of men. I never saw that or made that connection before. But yeah, that's a good one. I think it's better than the Jeremiah 10 for sure. I think there's a little bit of a delay. I'm not 100% sure.
Yep. Yep, is what it is. We're going to go back to the Torah. You want to read this one, Josh?
Yeah. I need to enlarge my screen. When Yahuwah, your Elohim, does cut off from before you the nations which you go to dispossess, and you dispossess them and dwell in their land, guard yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them. This happens time and time again, we see as we read through the whole Bible. After they are destroyed from before you, and that you do not inquire about their mighty ones, saying, how did these nations serve their mighty ones? And let me do so too. Do not do so too, Yahuwah your Elohim, for every abomination which Yahuwah hates, they have done to their mighty ones. For they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire to their mighty ones. This is where it gets dark. This is something that's spoken of and we kind of gloss over it in history, but it's a known historical fact. They do that. They still do that to this day. This is still a practice, and this was going on with these winter festivals way back when. And that's what's sad when you do this research, and it's hard for me looking into it now and reliving those things that I had almost, blocked out of my memory, that they did these things with their Saturnalia festivals and to their similar deities that were worshipped this time of year or let loose. Even there's so many dark things that go along with it. So the Most High has seen these things, and it's an abomination to him, and it's for a reason. They're doing that. They're giving what's most precious to them to a false god, and this is to somebody who's given the most precious thing that he has to us. Who are we to do that to some other deity? And that's what they've done. And we're partaking in traditions that stem from those in some way. And I know that the hearts of people doing them aren't always because they're honoring those false gods. It's all about Jesus. He's the reason for the season. But they have unknowingly adopted a lot of those same spirit of Christmas type things that come from way back when. So sad stuff in that verse.
Yep, and let me touch on something for if somebody in the comments later will say come on screen too and read the last sentence and just cover our bases.
Oh, read the last sentence.
I got it. Do not
Okay,
do
sorry.
so to Yahweh Elohim, for every abomination which Yahweh hates, they have done to their mighty ones, for they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire to their mighty ones. So Matt and Josh are not saying that people that celebrate Christmas, we're talking about most people in the world. We're not saying they're burning their sons and daughters in the fire to honor their mighty ones. We're not saying that. I brought this verse up just in the context of being set apart and not worshiping Yahweh Elohim, the Most High, in our own way. Like he gives us in the scriptures like how to worship him. And celebrating Christmas is outside of that. If you want to stay in a covenant relationship with the Most High, you need to look at what the covenant teaches us. And Christmas is not in that.